All right, I got one more for you here.
Only one.
Only one. I don't want to keep you too long here. Now, I know this is something that I've really tapped into with working with you, and I'd love to get you to expound on this. What role does empathy play in you being a teacher and you being a trainer? And how can the general public develop their empathetic anatomy?
Really good. When you are an empath, it means you feel things. You feel your outer world in a way that other people may not. We have different gifts. We come in with different gifts. So for an empath, they hit overwhelm a lot. They need big chunks of silence away from everybody because it's like, "Ah!" I'm sick of being like totally overwhelmed by all of the stimuli. We develop our empath skills in Forrest Yoga and give a great place to learn to work it as a tool and a gift instead of a curse. For a lot of people, they feel everyone else's pain, so they become people pleasers because it's such a drag to be around people that are complaining and in pain. So we try to fix it, but that's not really our job. So as an empath, let's say that I was working with you, my friend, as an empathic teacher, which I am. That is one of my skills that I've learned to use. I can choose to open up any shields I have and feel in your body where is there sadness or a congestion or clustering of energy, someplace that needs to be opened. And then I know where to go with my hands, but also where I want you to focus from the inside so that we both meet as teacher and student and work together on whatever this issue is. So as a teacher, I become much more effective and accurate when I use my empathing skills, as well as teaching you how to become wiser kinesthetically, because I can speak to you empathically and get you feeling and translating what you're feeling instead of hitting the overwhelm wall and then turning into a little like quivering, complaining puddle, which is where a lot of us empaths go, just like, ah! It's just like you get off that wall, which is such a boring place to be. It's a great skill. But where for people who don't know of themselves as empaths, some of the symptoms may be after a while, you've got to be alone. You may lock yourself in your room or run off into the desert or, put a headset on, go into music because you just can't stand any more human input. That's one of the signs of being an empath, where you need to monitor and control your level of input. As you begin to learn to use your empathic skills, you don't get driven so crazy by it. And you still need those times of solitude for your emotional, mental, spiritual health. You need time to feel just you instead of you feeling everybody else. So honoring that you need that time. And a great place every day to get that is when you're doing your Forrest Yoga practice, because it's all about feeling yourself, not feeling the person next to you. So with an empath, that's where we need to do a little wrangling, like stop feeling for that person next to you or over there crying on the mat or that one struggling and jerking and not breathing. That's not your problem right now. You focus on you. This is your time. Very precious time. Don't have an argument with your spouse in your head. This is focusing on you and getting your connections moving and feeling the sweetness of your nervous system and your musculature responding and the chemistry that happens when you get that. So it's like learning to use this inherent gift and honing it into a skill. It's kind of like someone who has a great painting skill. You don't start out with a masterpiece. You have to learn how to deal with your colors. You have to learn how to work with your tools. And then it takes a lot of practice learning how to discern what's in your spirit and being able to translate it onto a canvas. It's the same with an empath. It takes a lot of practice and skill to begin to live in a way that has that amount of gorgeous energy in it. That's one of the gifts that we have as an empath and one of the possibilities. And if you don't work with it, it's a plague. And another warning signal for you empaths is you probably have had a run-in with at addiction, anything that makes you numb. So if you happen to be a person that likes to get yourself comfortably numb on a regular basis, underneath that bullshit and that lousy coping mechanism that you're using right now, know that there is a gift of unimaginable richness. But you have to be courageous enough to go through your numbness and begin to work with it.
Yeah, and working with students that are innately already empaths, I've recognized one of their patterns is the constant outpouring, and they feel, and they respond to other people in other situations based on that feeling. And it's really hard for them sometimes to do what you just described. What in their opinion would be a very selfish thing is to completely focus on what's going on for them and in their world and in their practice when they're on the mat, giving themselves the time to bring that in and essentially do like a empathing of themselves